I hear a lot of customers talk about keeping it under 30 feet for parks, different areas around the country to give you the most variety of campsites that you can possibly get into. At 29 feet 8 inches, this 26 SFK fits that description, giving the most room and bang for your buck. Now, Super Lite, made by Flagstaff, is one of the best in terms of amenities and features packed into this size of a travel trailer. Let's take a look inside this 26 SFK and see what it has in store. Starting right up at the front, we've got a couple different things here to look at. Right up front, we've got the gravel guard, which is going to be this diamond plating right on the bottom. That gets the brunt of the force going down the road if any rocks or pebbles are getting kicked up into this. It's not doing any damage. Right above that, you do have your molded fiberglass nose cap, which does a lot better going down the road, getting that brunt force of all the weather and elements that you're going to be driving through. Below that, on the tongue, you've got 2 batteries. You can switch those out for AGMs or lithiums if you want, and then 2 30-pound tanks. Now, the difference for this year is going to be this BAL auto leveling system for the tongue jack. It's a little bit different. You can push button auto level for the front and back, as well as the tongue jack up and down. Everyone kind of worries about new technology. This does have an override, a manual override if you needed it. For the campsite, we're right under this 19-foot awning with a beautiful light LED strip underneath. You can see that Flagstaff does pay attention to details in terms of the frameless fiberglass or the frameless windows, which do cut down on the condensation that you develop on normal travel trailers. And then the fully composite sidewalls are going to cut down on that condensation as well. There is an aluminum framing throughout on all 6 sides, and then you do have a heated and enclosed underbelly, including 12-volt heat pads on every tank. Now, down to the little amenities that make this nice and a little bit more sleek is going to be the to-the-ground MORryde steps, as well as this newer grab handle that is going to go much further down, allowing you to get easy access in and out of your camper. So let's look at one of the most important components of your travel trailer, which is going to be the wheels and axles. This is going to be a Dexter Torflex axle, which is actually a very similar component to what they have on horse trailers. So if you can trust your livestock with it, you can trust your trailer with it. And then also you've got Goodyear Endurance tires, load range D. And those are going to be nitrogen filled, which means that nitrogen inside doesn't respond as much to temperature in terms of expanding or contracting. So your PSI throughout any environment is going to stay relatively the same versus normal air, compressed air, which is going to expand and contract a little bit more. The difference on it is not huge, but there is a little bit of a difference. And the last thing is you do have a TPS or a tire pressure monitoring system on board as well. So you can keep a good eye on those tire pressures as you're going down the road. On the back end here, we have a couple different components. You have a fully walk-on roof, with it is 100% composite as well. And then you've got an aluminum truss system throughout, so that is solid and going to last a long time. The frameless windows continued throughout. You do have a backup camera prep already in place and a 2-inch receiver down below for a nice bike rack. This is going to be a bonded fiberglass, so if I pound on that, it's going to be solid versus something that's going to be hung fiberglass, which is going to give you that kind of bowing and flexing loose look. And then one of the biggest components on top of these is you're going to have 200 watts of solar standard with an inverter on board, so you do have 110 outlets that will work when you're not plugged into a campsite. Now let's talk about 2 different things on the driver's side of this camper, which is going to be exterior storage as well as what are the slides based on. Big question for a lot of these trailers are you do have larger slides. Almost this entire side of the trailer is going to be slides, which almost doubles the size of your interior space, but it's got to have something sturdy to be able to support that. But let's look at the storage first. You do have a nice front storage compartment, and then moving down the line, you've got a larger compartment in the slide. All right, so this is that larger compartment in the rear of the camper, which gives you a ton of space to store things. It's underneath the bed. And what I wanted to point out in here is most every travel trailer company out there is building their furniture on a wood base. What Super Lite does really nicely is build it with an aluminum frame on all their furniture. So that's going to be the dinette and the bed, which gives you the longevity that you would expect from a brand that provides you with so many amenities on board. Now, this is going to be much more solid than a one-by-one piece of wood. Now, what are these slides built on? A lot of people talk about cable-driven, worm drives, or having rack and pinion. And this is going to be a rack and pinion. For these larger slides that come out this deep, that is going to be the most solid contraption that's going to be able to support those slides in the long run. Big thick gears and a large heavy pole that's going to be able to support it when it moves in and out over and over again. That slide topper awning on there is going to add that extra level of protection, as well as these seals on the sides, which you've got one here and then a compression seal. So when it's in, you're working at keeping that water out of your camper. So I'm standing in between the two slides here, and this is actually where all of the hookups come into place. So you've got your city water fresh or tank flush and antifreeze import, and you've got your exterior shower. There's a hot and cold tap. One thing that I wanted to point out in terms of where this is located, because you have two deep slides right here, you actually get a little bit of that privacy if you wanted to have an outdoor shower. That has been the exterior of the 26 SFK. Let's jump on the inside because there's some surprises that I can't wait to show you. As we jump onto the inside here, this is going to be a front kitchen setup. Now you can tell because the exterior storage on the front is going to be those shallower doors on either side. This does give you a ton of prep space up top and one large big basin sink with a extending hose on the faucet. Now the storage up front is going to be nice. You do have that big panoramic window up front, but you do not lose the cabinet space because you have these deep cabinets up top with solid wood doors and heavier hinges, so they're not slamming down on you. On the side here, this can be used both as food storage, or if you want to kick your shoes off right when you come inside, that's a good place to do it. And then storage all down below, really deep, almost, I would say about 2 feet deep into that storage down there. So pots, pans, bigger items, not really a big deal. You got a 3-burner stove with a nice knife rack back there, a microwave oven, and you are set up to be cooking and having a good time. And it's nice to have this right next to the door as well, because you do have that space for someone to move behind you, but you also have that ability to jump in and jump out when you're cooking inside and eating outside. So as we turn around here, we've got this big, deep 12-volt fridge and chest freezer down below. Nice thing about chest freezers is the theory is that the cold air will sink to the bottom, and so when you open that up, you don't lose nearly as much cold air as when you open up a swinging door. Now these Milberg collection seats, I always think are kind of my favorite. They have good support to them, a nice little compartment down there, and perfectly situated for what we'll see in a second, which is the entertainment center, which is, I think, one of the best surprises about this trailer in particular. All right, so this is the dinette that is actually directly across from the recliner, so it makes it a nice area where everyone can kind of relax and you can have some friends over and enjoy a little bit more of a communal space. It opens up quite a bit with that slide on that side, and then this will fold down into a bed if you need be for any guest to stay. Now this is where things get interesting, because right here looks like a regular ledge, but there is this cutout. This is where the entertainment or the TV actually hides. So you don't have one hanging out overhead or in the way when you're using the trailer normally. It slips down in here, and this can be used as a nice ledge to be able to put anything that you'd need on there in the meantime. Now it's coupled by 2 different pop-up 12-volt and 110 inverted plugs, so you'd be able to use that for anything that you might need, even if you're hooking up maybe a PlayStation or something while you're camping. Now, the big panoramic window is beautiful for getting the campsite view, and now let's pop up this TV and see what it looks like. All right, I just wanted to back up the view a little bit so you can see almost the whole space here. This is the best setup in terms of movie time, because you've got the recliners perfectly set up to watch the TV, which is not at a breakneck height and not looking down at the floor. It is a perfect viewing spot for having those nice movie nights. So I think the entertainment system on this 26 SFK is a fantastic feature in these Flagstaff models. All right, love it or hate it, it is a split bath, meaning that you have to walk through the bathroom to get to the bedroom or to the entertainment area. Now, it does give you a little bit larger bathroom, and splits up things a little bit nicely. And you do have a hard door on here, so it's not just a curtain, but I understand privacy to some may be more of an issue when you have that split and you have to go all the way around. But if you would like the space and amenities of the bathroom, but still have these different spaces that are separated, which actually on the plus side is giving you a good separation between the bedroom and the living area. If someone's staying up late to watch a movie and someone's going to bed, or someone wants to go to bed and read, you have a great option there. Now the toilet on here is situated like so, plenty of room to use it, and then the shower is going to be a nice rectangular shower. All right, so in the bathroom here, it looks like you've got tons of storage, which in here you in fact definitely have tons of storage, but then we move our way down and this is going to be an access panel, and this is going to be an access panel. And you have a small storage here for maybe some soaps or washcloths or something. And then you do have a medicine cabinet, which opens it up a little bit more, and then a nice little sink right here to be able to wash your hands. All right, now if you can remember on the exterior, underneath this bed was a ton of storage, and this is framed out in that aluminum frame. So it gives you the stability that you can trust on a king size bed. Now putting this bed on the slide does open up the bedroom quite a bit, so you get a ton of storage on here as well. If we look on either side, it is a little bit cramped into the slide, so you do have a tiny little tray if you needed somewhere to charge your phone. You've got a USB plug up top on either side on those reading lights, and a little bit of storage up top as well. But one of the biggest things that you can do on this bed is actually lift it up from the bottom here, which you will get the full access underneath to the exterior storage that gives you plenty of room to throw any of those bulkier items that you may be bringing. So since we are in a slide out bedroom, this gives you so much more room for storage. Now this hanging locker is going to be some of the biggest I've ever seen, outside of those that are going to be just the entire front nose cap. They've done an excellent job of creating space up top for hanging and space below for any of your other things that you might want to keep in your bedroom. This has been the 26 SFK from Flagstaff. Whether you're going to the mountains, to the beach, to the desert, this is going to be something that gives you a ton of amenities to be capable of all those locations, as well as the entertainment area to make it feel like home. Now, if you're interested in this model or any of our other models that we carry at Apache Camping Center, feel free to reach out. And if you are interested in this specific 26 SFK, feel free to find the pricing and availability link below. And if you like this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We would love to see you in the next one.